Hello, welcome to Geography at East Luke Academy. My name is Miss Rahman. Your geography teachers next year, if not me, could be Mr. Strickland or Mr. Ritchie. So welcome to Geography from your classrooms. What you're going to be doing in Year 7 Geography, you are going to study my place and skills. So we're going to just go over some geographical skills that you'll need throughout your time at East Luke Academy. And we're also going to be looking at weather, so weather processes and essentially why we have the weather we do in the United Kingdom. In spring, we'll look at settlements, so how people live and how areas have built up. We're going to be looking at coast, so we'll be looking at processes, that means jobs at the coast. We'll be looking at how landforms are created, so features that we see on Earth, for example, if you're at the coast, you may have seen an arch or a cave. How did that come about? And then we'll also look at what life is like for people living at the coastline. So how do they protect themselves against flooding? And then in summer, we have quite a longer module where we look at living off the Earth. So we look at how Earth formed to Earth today, and then we look at some of the issues facing Earth, such as climate change and what we could do to adapt to that. So your lesson today, we're going to be looking at the water cycle, and we're going to look at the processes in the water cycle and how that works. So on your worksheets that you should have, can you write down what you already know? So spend about 30 seconds, not minutes, doing this, and write down everything that you perhaps may have studied in primary school. If you don't know anything about it, then maybe have a guess at what the water cycle could be. And I'll just give you some time to do that. After you've done that, then you can watch the video that I've attached for your teacher to play, and that will give you a bit of an introduction to it. Okay. So this is the water cycle. The water cycle is how water moves around Earth, okay? So we've got these processes here, and you are going to next find out what these processes are. So you can see that if we're going to start off in the ocean, we could see evaporation happen and condensation. Sometimes we have transpiration going off from trees and plants. And you're going to essentially see how it ends up raining and how the water ends up back towards the ocean and how it just keeps continuously going. I've not told you what the words mean yet, because that is what you're going to find out next. So around the room, there should be a number of key terms which are in the water cycle. So can you visit each key term and add it to your glossary? Okay, so the journey of water. Now you've learnt these words, you've got a series of cards, and can you put them in order to show the water cycle processes? So where do we start to where do we end up? And on your worksheets, you should have your own version by writing the processes in the gaps on your worksheet. So hopefully by now you should be able to understand that we've got water that is heated up by the sun, causing it to evaporate, or it could transpire, and that's when it comes off plants or animals. We then have condensation, where we start to see that water vapor beginning to cool. The collection of this leads to clouds, and eventually those clouds become so heavy that we have precipitation. So precipitation can involve rain, it can involve sleet, hail, or snow. So there's 4 types there. Now when that hits the ground, you will find that to get through the ground, we will use the term infiltration. When it gets into the bedrock, so if you look at the diagram here, which should be on your board right now, you could see that it is going through into the bedrock, okay, and that term is percolation. So there's a slight difference between the two. And then we have surface runoff, okay, and that is when it perhaps will be travelling along the surface, and these are ways that it ends up back towards the ocean, and we complete the cycle again, and the water ends up evaporating again due to heat, and so on and so forth. At the end of your sheet, you have a question, a favourite, and a feeling. So on the back of your sheet, can you answer one of these, or you can do all of these if you've got the time. For a question, do you have a question about what you found out today? And if you do have a question, this is something that you can take your sheet away and research and find the answer for, because it's all about finding out things as well. Your favourite bit of the lesson, what did you enjoy, and a feeling. So do you have a feeling and emotion about today's lesson? Okay, right, I think that is us there. So thank you for taking part, and hopefully see you in September. Bye everyone.